It feels good to have you join us again. This is Breakfast Central. The front pages of the papers are indeed very, very interesting. And that's why we're going to go straight into it right away. Well, feel free to join us. You do have the phone lines to actually call. The phone number would be on the screen. So go ahead and ensure that you can dial the number. And let's get your feedback. Let's get your contributions here as we look at the front pages. We do have Ikechukwu Amaechi joining us. He's here with us this very good morning. Thank you for being
Compliments
here.
of the season.
Is there?
It's a blue thing going on.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
It's a
blue thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
a Blue Tuesday.
Yeah,
Is that?
Blue Tuesday.
Yeah, really.
Although
actually.
we wanted to say it's
I did not want to say anything with
okay,
you.
you didn't. Okay.
Please.
You know, there's one that starts before the blue.
Let's share with you what the newspapers are saying
right.
this morning.
First paper, let's focus on what we're doing. First paper, leadership. That's what we're going to. Leadership. Leadership is the first paper. And on the front page of leadership, Tinubu presents 47.9 trillion naira 2025 budget to NAS tomorrow. That's the leadership. And don't forget, it was supposed to be today. It ought to be today, but
Didn't have to make adjustments to the budget.
Yes,
slight adjustments this
slight
day,
adjustments, just one or two touches here and there. And the National Assembly has said, don't worry, as usual, it's gonna pass. Food prices surge as inflation rate hits 34.6%, away from 33, now 34.6%. Interesting times. No foreign military base in Nigeria. DHQ insists. There was we know what that story was from the weekend. Lukman emerges Africa's best player for 2024. Federal government renames Uni Abuja to Yakubu Gowon University. EFCC arrests 193 foreigners, 499 others over alleged crypto fraud. And I think that's all I'm going to take on the front page of the leadership. All right, I did not see the governor of the year. Governor Pastor Umar Basieno has been named the governor of the year 2024 for hitting the ground running with his Arise agenda covering all sectors. We'll come back to ask Mr. Amaechi if he thinks that that's... I think one of the agendas was he was saying free booze to everybody.
Every Friday.
Free booze.
Yeah, it's happy hour now.
Happy hour, free happy hour, All
right, let's move to the Daily Independent newspaper. On the front page of the Daily Independent, the big story is federal government petitions Iran over smuggling of 2 Asman's aircraft. Nigeria may incur wrath of West over deal with Iran. FEC okays 161.3 million euros for Phase 1 Siemens power project. CDS orders probe over death of Okuama leaders in army custody. Ooh, finally. Federal government renames Uni Abuja as Yakubu Gowon University. Supreme Court finds ex-presidential candidate 5 billion naira for seeking removal of Tinubu. That's one of the stories we're taking this morning on Which Way Nigeria. It's like double wahala for everybody. You went there, told the court, remove the president. Court said, how dare you bring such a free?
Remove your gown.
We're wasting our time. In fact, we slammed me 5 million naira. Tinubu excited over Shell partners $5 billion investment in oil sector. Presents 47.96 trillion naira 2025 budget to National Assembly tomorrow. Appoints 8 new permanent secretaries. Maybe the next appointment, Johansson will take it and then he will now leave breakfast center. No, I'm not going anywhere. I'm here. Mr. Ikechukwu should get ready to to mention. EFCC arrests 792 suspects, largest cybercrime syndicate in Lagos. And finally, high food prices push Nigeria's inflation up 34.6% in November. I saw that yesterday. It's not surprising. I wonder what December figures will look like, especially with all that we're seeing. And there was even a slight gain in the Naira in November. One would think that that would have maybe impacted. Well, experts have said we should be careful with that slight gain that everybody's talking about. Okay, let's move from the Daily Independent to the Punch newspaper and see what the Punch is saying. Okay, let's give you something, and it's got to do with a punch. FEC orders final adjustments as Tinubu presents Wednesday. Final adjustment, last-minute touches here and there. Late signing won't disrupt January-December cycle. Federal government, FEC okays budget after amendments. Tax reforms will promote equity, Tinubu says. You find that story on page 30. PSC promotes 11 police commissioners to AIG.
And you also have another one, Lakorowa DHQ steps up intelligence gathering plans special operation. And the other ones are basically the same story we've gotten from the other papers. It's over to you, Ikechukwu Amaechi. Let's look at this particular story. I'm very interested in this one. I don't know if you saw the images and the video as well. 148 Chinese, 645 others arrested in cyber fraud, romance scam in Lagos on Victoria Island in a building that's well, fitted with state-of-the-art equipment and so on. People were thinking that they were working, but they were, in other words, employing Nigerians and training them about phishing scams, helping them to see how they can make more money with cyber crime as well.
An interesting story, like you said, but again, I'm not surprised. But that shows the extent to which perhaps Nigeria has become the fraud capital of the world, which is very unfortunate that we have well over 140-something foreigners in one location in Nigeria committing fraud, cyber crime all over the world, whether it is in cryptocurrency or in all manner of fraud, is something that should worry all of us. But like I said, I am not surprised. I think there is a phenomenon that we need to check. Chinese people who are in Nigeria, in most cases, I know of one place somewhere in Ikeja that all you have there are Chinese people. They have CCTV cameras surrounding the entire building complex that has about 12 flats. They even have security men, the policemen who guard the gate. So from whichever angle you are coming, from whichever point you are coming to that building,
they can see you.
Those inside will see you. Exclusively Chinese. What are they doing there? Nobody seems to know. And it is in this kind of places that we continue seeing this. Look, and they succeed in giving Nigerians a very bad name. And you see, we can fight crime. Perhaps for once, we'll give kudos to the EFCC for busting this. But the bigger question is that what next? After grabbing media headlines like they have done, are they going to be charged to court? We bear the due diligence so that they will be properly prosecuted, and at the end of the day, we will have some kind of deterrence, because if they are dealt with according to the law and they are punished, it will deter some other people from doing that. But beyond that also, I think it behoves the government to correct the economic malady we have in this country. You can blame the young people for doing this, for doing that, but at the end of the day, Olive, people must survive. Create jobs. Yes, those who are inclined to crime will still commit crime. After all, in even countries that have very good economy, you still have criminals there. But it will reduce the number drastically. When young people graduate from school, so I'm not making excuses for them, and somebody stays 3, 4, 5 years without a job, the tendency is that if there is any crime, particularly cyber crime, they will be prone to being recruited into it. So create an enabling environment, create a good economy, and we have what it takes to make this economy. Look, if those in government stop stealing, and nobody is perhaps trying to relate the level of crime we have out there, particularly this cyber crime, with what is going on in government. When people loot, and we see it, and it's obvious, loot the economy because you have access to power, because you have access to state resources. And the young man who struggles to go through school comes out without a job, stays for 10 years without a job. Look, he must fend for himself one way or the other. So we give kudos to the EFCC for doing this, and they should do more. Like I said, I think there are many more cells like this still operating in Nigeria. It behoves them
to go and fish them out.
To go and fish them out.
Okay, let's hear from Lenin calling from Abuja. Good morning, Lenin.
Good morning, Ali. Good morning, sir.
Please go ahead.
I want to say on this EFCC something. You know, there is, in this country, if you check very well, you see agencies give some kind of treatment to these Chinese people. This fraud, whatever they are doing, is just a tip of the iceberg. They got to cry because if you know what these people are capable of doing, the mining that is going on in several parts of Nigeria is done by these people. And when you want to talk, because when you want to talk, they are covered by our security agencies. If you see the type of they even tell you they can even arrest you for even challenging a Chinese man. They will arrest you because this is what is something. The policeman working with them will tell you to shut up. It happens everywhere. So what the secretary is saying, that building is being manned by Nigerian security. They know what they are. If they are doing that, so people are they know. So whatever happens in Nigeria here, our security agencies edit. It's just a simple truth. So our security agencies, the good ones, should look after the people.
Okay. Thank you so much, Lenin, for talking to us. Thank you. Well, we've heard his points, and he's also shared what his thoughts are. But let's go to another story very quickly. I'd like us to look at this particular one, which we can find especially anyway, let's look at Daily Independent. High food prices pushes Nigeria's inflation up 34.6% in November. Inflation continues to go higher. And this is December, the Yuletide season. One would expect that everything should at least have been reviewed downwards so that Nigerians can at least heave a sigh of relief, but it's not looking that way.
Joe, the truth of the matter is that the 34.6% is what National Bureau of Statistics is telling Nigerians. But anybody who goes to the market will know that inflation is nothing less than 50%. Because where do you start from? There is this talk now on the social media. Onion.
It says it's the new gold.
Is the new gold. Because one small basin is about 1,000 naira. There is not a bag of rice. How much is it costing? So this issue of 34%, when you imagine how much these things were costing as at May 29th, 2023, when Tinubu became president. And now, the prices have tripled, if not quadrupled. So it cannot be 34.6%. So nobody should be surprised, and this is not going to come down. Look, as long as we have the energy crisis we have, as long as we have very high cost of energy, both PMOS and electricity, it will drive up every other cost. Those things are not coming down, and they won't come down. So where will you start tackling the inflation? We have an economy where interest rate is well over 30%, 34, 35%. So the cost of production is way too high. When you factor in the interest you have to pay and then the cost of energy, if you produce something in Nigeria, it will be higher in cost than those who go to China or to any other place to import.
Which doesn't make sense.
So inflation will continue to go up until we get a handle on the economy. Like former U.S. President Bill Clinton will say, it is the economy stupid. We are not getting it right. Despite all the propaganda and innuendo by the government that they are doing this, they are doing that, for foreign direct investment, his foreign trip beginning to yield fruits, blah, blah, blah. Where are the companies that are coming in to invest? Instead, we have companies that have stayed here for more than 50 years, exiting the country and going to places like Ghana, our next door neighbor. So things are not getting right. It is not likely to get right. You know, I think last week or so, I was here, or 2 weeks ago, when we were all jubilating that the exchange rate
Had
come down from 170, 1,700 to 1,500.
Yeah.
And I was asked, I said, I don't see this being sustained.
Yeah.
Because the fundamentals are not there. The fundamentals are not there. Today, I think it has climbed up again to about 1,600. So you can, there is nothing that is being done monetarily, physically, that will tame the inflation we have right now.
All
so
right.
I'm not surprised.
We'll come back to conversations about that. Let's quickly take this call from Abakaliki. Amodu, good morning.
Hello, good morning. I'm not surprised.
Amodu, please turn down the volume of your TV set and then go ahead with your conversation.
Hello, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Good morning. Please go ahead.
Good morning.
All right. I'm actually watching your TV station right now, and considering the issue on ground, that's bad in play. We are dealing with liars. No one to tell us about things that are being, you understand. People make fun and different shows with onions, like he was talking about, and a few other things. But that's not the main issues, okay? We're talking about basic things that people can just walk into the market and pick up. The few things, gari, rice, yam, you understand? So these basic food that people should have access to, it's becoming difficult. You can't believe that you get to the market, they slice yams. So such that now families can't buy one tuber of yam. So it means that a tuber of yam, you now have to gather families together to come and share it in the market. You understand? You don't want to talk about tomatoes and the rest of them. So it's actually a biting situation right here. And I feel the government that we are dealing with do not care. So is it that they wake up to the call that's going to be drastic and spontaneous, or they should already, because 2025, I don't see people taking things the way they're taking it this time. They've played on people's intelligence for quite a long time now, and it's high time to get serious with them. I understand that to them, we don't have the capacity to pay, which from their end, some of them, what they're giving up to attain the heights they are right now.
Right.
The common man on the street doesn't have that capacity.
All right. Okay, Amudi.
They take nothing serious.
Thank you.
But when you've been pushed to the wall, the next thing is to fight back. So everyone should be on their toes and get ready for what is ahead. I use my call this morning. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very
so
much for
Somebody says
sharing your thoughts.
everybody should brace up, in other words, and get ready for what is
Every
ahead.
time I hear things like that, my heart just breaks further because this is the first Christmas. I was just having a conversation with an aunt of mine yesterday, and my auntie and I were just talking about how typically we look forward to the end of the year because you're getting hampers. It's always like a gift giving and gift receiving season. And this year, I'm looking into the cloud is looking at me. I'm like, what's going on? Everybody is feeling the bite and feeling the pinch.
Anybody giving hamper now, you must be very instrumental to the person's the person's 2020.
Anyway, that being said, HR, this does not excuse you. Please arrange our hampers for us. Thanks.
I don't know what she's talking about. So
New Central's HR is a very different crop. New Central's team. We ensure that we take care of our staff. And at the end of the year, they give us things like rice, oil, and all these nice things, and even extra money.
Do you also take care of your guests or only your staff?
Hey, shots fired. Okay, I wouldn't want us to wrap up today's conversation without looking at Okuama community. The Daily Independent, I believe, talked about NDC probing into the death of the leaders who died in detention. Yes, it says CDS orders probe over death of Okuama leaders in army custody. Now, if you recall, this was an incident that occurred in March, and April 18th, between 18th and 20th, a raid occurred. August 18th and 20th, a raid occurred. They arrested some of the Okuama leaders. These people have been in detention for over 100 days, and within the space of 1 week, their treasurer and their president general died in army custody. Now they're saying that they're going to investigate the allegations of the death that until now is still a speculation. And the question is, have they acted in fairness? This community was razed to the ground. There were pictures on social media. Last week, we had the governor, that's the governor of Delta State, special advisor on peace and conflict resolution. And I asked him, do we know for sure who razed down these communities in Okuama? Because the reports we're seeing on social media is that the army went on reprisal attacks. He's saying we do not know. They are still investigating. Something happened in March, while in December, the year is about to come to an end. Likelihood of these people still being in detention till the end of the year is very high. I don't see how they're going to release them between now and the 31st of December. And they said Governor Sheriff Oborowere is doing everything within his power to release them. So have the people of Okuama been treated with fairness? They slept in their homes, a number of them, one night, and the next day they ended up in IDP camps.
It is very, very sad, and these are the kind of things that tend to portray our country as a lawless state. Look, nobody in good conscience will approve what happened in Okuama in March. Whatever the grievance, about 17
soldiers, yes.
Soldiers murdered brutally, gruesomely,
Very
killed
terrible.
the way they were killed. But where lies investigation? As we speak, I'm not too sure that any of the so-called ring leaders was arrested. Now, what you did was to go for the soft targets, the leaders of the community, and took all of them. Since March, none of them has been charged for any offense. Now, they are beginning to die in detention. We don't know whether it is because of the trauma, whether it is because of the condition of their detention that is leading to these deaths. 2 already dead. Look, this issue of army behaving as if it is above the law, for crying out loud, this is a democratic society. Even if you have arrested them, All you need to do is to hand them over to the police, and they will be charged accordingly. What are you investigating since March up till now that you've not been able to charge them to court, and you are locking them up indefinitely? Just put them there and throw away the key.
Is there even fairness in the army being the one to carry out the investigation in a crime that was committed against them? Can a party be a judge in its own cause?
That is all I am saying. All the steps that the military has taken in this issue does not speak to fairness, does not speak to equity, does not speak to even the integrity of the whole thing. Look, even if army went in the first place, and the low-hanging fruits you could lay your hands on are the leaders of the community, President General, I don't know why they are, what they are being accused for. Is it that they were not able to rein in the youths who did this? I remember then there was a video that came out of a young man who claimed responsibility and said why he did that. I don't know whether he has been arrested or whether he was killed. Nothing has been heard about him since then. All I'm saying is that even if these leaders are guilty, they should be charged to court. There is a process in a society like ours. They should be charged to court and tried, whether it is for murder, whether it is for anything, but keeping them there, no trial, no nothing, and no, it is unfair. Decent societies are not run the way we run our own society. No matter how grievous the crime, you take the people and get them convicted appropriately. And there is no evidence whatsoever to prove so far that these leaders were the people who orchestrated that crime. And I am saying, even if there is, they should be dealt with according to the law.
Because that's giving courts like behavior. It's only in court clashes that you see they will come and rain terror on communities. When you won't say, okay, there's somebody that offended you, attacking the person. It's almost like what gangs will do, raining terror on communities.
It has always been the norm. Don't forget President Obasanjo did it in
Odi.
Did it in another place in Benue State.
Yes.
So it has been the norm. You go in there and you level everything in the community. Everybody has this vicarious liability now. And I am saying that societies are not run that way. At the end of the day, despite the number of people that were killed in OD, the people who actually committed the crime got away from the community before the military came in, and all you did was to kill people who may not even know what the issue was, and who had no dog in the fight, as it were. So we cannot continue this way. It is, as a person, I deplore and I condemn in the strongest this issue of slaughtering policemen, soldiers at the drop of a hat. For whatever reason, you kill them because they are also human beings. They have families,
yes,
and they have the right to life. They should live. But when some animals, and anybody who does that kind of crime, for me, is an animal. When some animals do that, investigation should ensure that we know those who did that and arrest them if it is beyond you. Because this kind of olive, like you said, it is almost like a gangster kind of thing. you swoop in, kill everybody in sight, level the community, and then take the leaders away. That is not the way to run a decent society which we claim we are part of. No.
A mob mentality. And we see this even with our country, even with a civilian country where we see that they make arrests, keep people in detention, and they're doing their...
I think it's a new norm, and it's something that...
maybe not new. It's sort of like the norm.
Yeah, I mean
see how long Godwin Emefiele was kept in detention before he was finally brought
now
to
you
court.
do have Farotimi.
I think today is 14 days since he's been in
counting,
detention.
and you also have many other.
But at least Dele Farotimi was brought before court.
I mean, at some point
in 24 hours.
But I'm talking about the cross-border, the processes. It seems like the fabric of our judiciary is starting to grow very thin and weary, And anyway,
it is like I said, it is sad. It is sad that we are where we are now. The rule of law should govern everything we do as a people, as a nation. Otherwise, you slip into the Hobbesian state where life is short, brutish, and nasty. And for these people, there's no other way to describe what they have gone through other than that their life became short, brutish, and nasty. And we must move away from that kind of narrative of everybody being considered as a target when indeed a few people, and you can fish them out if you do due diligence, if you carry out investigation, which is what is done in any other society that lays claim to be modern state. Look, you can use, if you can use technology to solve some of these problems, then you are going nowhere. We are behaving as if we are in the 20th century. For crying out loud, this is the 21st century. We have people. Look at the other day, somebody murdered a prominent man, a pharmacy chief in the US. Look at how diligently.
Yeah, they follow that story.
Yes, and they found him out.
Only his eyes.
That's all they needed.
Only his eyes. So, and here we behave as if we are in a jungle. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us. Publisher in each newspaper, Ikechukwu Amaechi. It's always a great time having you analyze the front pages with us. And thank you to all our callers and those whose calls we could not pick. Tomorrow will be another day. Make sure you join us. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Joe, it's always my pleasure. Olive, well, don't, because you were conspiring with Joe, how...
No, I wasn't there.
How News Central treats you people.
No, I wasn't there.
I was just highlighting and applauding my station
go on a break now.
for being a diligent
when
station
we come back.
that will give us end of the year gift.